Hello folks, welcome to the Cactus Atlas. You can see the road snaking its way down below. We're gonna drive down that. I actually just drove up it, but we're gonna drive down it together. And you can see our destination. We're gonna take this road and then we're gonna take that dirt road out towards a feature called Valley of the Gods, which is out somewhere that way and the feature of our video today. This is not the first time I've passed through this way, maybe the second or third time now, or maybe third or fourth, but it never gets old. I mean, it feels like you're flying. You don't even need a drone here. This is vertigo-inducing stuff. Some really sheer drop-offs that go straight down. And the views. That road will take you out towards Goosenecks State Park, and I'm trying to see if I can see the goosenecks. I think they're somewhere right over here, as well as out towards Monument Valley. You can actually kind of see Monument Valley way off in the distance. So we're north of that up in Utah now, not far from Natural Bridges National Monument, if you know where that is. That's way up here on these mesas, and you could see it's all like pinyon, juniper pine forests at this higher elevation, and it is cooler up here too. Now, Valley of the Gods is oftentimes talked about as another monument valley. It's supposed to have a lot of buttes, a lot of really cool scenery, and I don't know where Valley of the Gods proper is, but that road should give us a hint as to where we're going in general. And then we're gonna we may camp down there. I haven't decided yet, gotta see what's available, but anyway, we're gonna at least make our way back out to the main highway in case we need to head up to Moab. So the plan pretty much is we're gonna take Slim, we're gonna drive down this thing. You'll be right in the cockpit alongside of me, so if you don't like heights, you might not like this one. I don't know what is more white knuckle driving up or down this thing, but the white knuckle part for me isn't the steepness or whatever. This truck makes it super simple. What makes it scary, as I mentioned earlier, are the giant boulders that are just ready to fall down this hill. Not so much up here, but when we get down a little bit further. But yeah, here you go, folks. This is the Moki Dugway, Highway 261. It's one way to go up to Hanksville, Utah, like the San Rafael Swell, Goblin Valley, Natural Bridges National Monument, and all sorts of things. I thought this might be a fitting episode to start up here because we're going to Valley of the Gods. So to me, we're descending out of the heavens down to the Valley of the Gods. That's my narrative for this one. You can see here's a good shot coming around the mountain when she comes. You can get just about any vehicle up this thing or down it. I've driven a Volkswagen Golf up it. I've driven a Saturn down it, and I've seen many passenger vehicles today and bicyclists. It's just, gravelly and some washboards at times, but it's beautiful. Just really, because it feels like you're flying. You feel like a bird from these heights, and you can see roads stretching on for miles, literally miles. In fact, there seems to be a nice little pull-off right here that I might want to check out now. We're maybe about a quarter of the way down this thing now. Not sure. But I'll kind of orient you and show you what I see and what I think we're going to be doing. Yeah, you can see, folks, up there where we just came from. We just descended within a couple minutes easily. And that dirt road out there, I believe, is our destination into Valley of the Gods, which I think there's a viewpoint for it. And I see buttes out there and things that look reminiscent of it. So I've never been. You can see some of that landscape down below. When we get further down where you see these giant boulders, you're going to see a lot of that on the latter half of this drive down. It's frightening. But over here, I think I see a good view, a good perspective on this road. I think he has the right idea. That would be fun. Although I think I'd want to do it on a mountain bike out here. But he seems to be doing okay. In fact, I just realized it now, the road's right below me. There is a sheer drop and it's really loose gravel here. So you don't want to mess around too much and get too close to the edge, or else you might take a tumble. I would say it's a pretty short drive, but it's a must-do. I mean, it is so scenic. And if you've never really even knew it was here, like the first time I drove here, I was just coming home and Google Maps or whatever took me this way back in the day. And I thought, are you crazy? Are we gonna be able to make it down this thing? But yeah, it was something that I never knew about, and a lot of people don't, I don't think. The Moki Dugway. All right, so we checked this overlook out. Let's, not really official overlooks or anything, but let's head back down the Moki Dugway. I like that name, the Moki Dugway. Sounds like a candy bar. All right, we're probably about halfway down this thing now. Maybe not quite half, but not too far off. And we're starting to get to the point where like this orangey sandstone turns into the red rock and the big boulders and things flaking off, but you get some good views as I come around those corners. Maybe we'll be lucky and we'll see one of these gigantic boulders take a tumble without hurting anybody, of course. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but you can kind of see as we come around this curb, you're starting to see rocks on the landscape. Trust me, there are some big boulders. They're not that small. And I think there's a couple I might be able to point out to you. Like on this hillside, especially off to the right, are some really big ones that are just kind of dangling, it would seem. It wouldn't take much, like a really heavy rain or something, to just have some of these things fall, but they've probably been like that for hundreds, if not thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe even more years. But look at that one right there, like this guy right up there. No thanks. And there's some other ones too. I'm just like, it'd be quick, I guess. Hopefully I wouldn't see it coming. I think we're almost at the paved section here. It starts off paved and then it turns into gravel. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the paved section. So we've pretty much done it. The Moki Dugway, a little warm up before today's main course, the Valley of the Gods. And here's the thing we climbed. There's some, the first couple switchbacks go up around this big hunk here. Can't see the road at all really, other than the very beginning part. And it doesn't look as high from down here. I think I was right. You couldn't really see up above that one point we were at, but it doesn't look as high from down here as it does from up there. Because I think that is the top that we're seeing. I see like juniper, pinyon pine type plants up there, cedars, something like that. Man, it's just so weird. Because even driving up to it today, I was like, oh, that doesn't look as bad as I remember. And then you get that overlook where that fence is up there, and my God. But it can't be that tall because there's actually a bunch of cows out here grazing. And I could hear, actually I just heard a moo right there. But I could hear moos from way up there. That sound traveled that far. All right, so any time now we should encounter that dirt road that we saw from up high. We're gonna get off the pavement again. I hear that this Valley of the Gods drive, I've heard for the most part it's safe for passenger cars. We will of course test that theory out ourselves. There are two ways to get into the road. It's like a one-way, it's not a one-way road. It's gonna take us, you can go either way, but you could start here or you could start in another spot. So I don't know if there's a preferred direction, but you saw the brown sign there indicating Valley of the Gods. And there we go. I got my Google Maps overlay for now, which should help. So this here should be the beginning or the end, depending on which way you do it, of the Valley of the Gods drive. And there's that bicyclist that I keep running into here. So I've seen this gentleman now 2 or 3 times and was chatting with him at the top. He was dropped off at the top. So he's going to be camping out somewhere out here tonight, he said. Maybe at Mexican Hat. Very nice fella. Maybe he'll see the video. Told him to wave at the drone. I think he did. Anyway, I've read this thing is about 17 miles long, this road. Compared to Monument Valley, I think it was 15 miles. Total 15 miles an hour. We're going about the same speed as we were at Monument Valley. So I estimate about an hour to drive through at about this speed at 17 miles an hour. But of course, with stopping and all of that stuff, we're going to be spending a lot more time. But so far, just a lot of like beautiful like sagebrush type plants. Still not like really the most interesting landscape until I think we're about to turn a curve, and I think I might see where the valley is. Might actually be quite hidden from view. So I've read people say, oh, you might need a 4-wheel drive vehicle to get back there. That's hogwash. I think just about anything can get there. The advice is, if there's really heavy rains and bad conditions, it could get muddy. That's when you don't want to come out here. Other than that, this is actually smoother so far than the Monument Valley Road, to be honest. At points, no lie. This is one of the smoothest gravel roads we've done on the trip so far. That may change though. But I wanted to show this to you in case you wanted to come back here. Oh, geez, Louise. Well, that part right there is a little bumpy. I see large formations now. What I was wondering when we were way up high, if that was part of Valley of the Gods, and I think it is. Some of the things, like maybe towards the other entrance. I don't know if there's like a prime place or like where it's going to be the most spectacular or not. I suspect there will be like a concentration. And look at all these little sagebrush and all this color here on this landscape. I mean, I should slow down a little bit so we can enjoy it. And this wash, all this weird gray rock that's exposed underneath it. Look down below. And look at those weird looking buttes, really eroded. I have a feeling we're not far from the treasure. Wow, this is getting neat. And I think over here, did we find some campers? Is this where they're gonna camp? Looks like another dispersed campsite. So there's our first camper of the day. They are in a van, so I am in a tent. It's not too windy though. I was worried about wind, and so far the winds have been calm. Oh yeah, I think I see what's about to happen, and oh my gosh. This is gonna be wild, I think. So far you're probably like, it's all right. Show us something already. Well, let's turn this corner. And I can already see now where it gets the Monument Valley comparisons. Some of the buttes are very reminiscent of that. So I think back this way is the Valley of the Gods proper. And I do see lots of little dispersed campsites, like big dispersed campsites, I think, for big rigs out here. Lots of availability, assuming those pull-offs are all okay to disperse camp, and I think they are. I found this like little snaky little dirt road that goes down into this wash and back around this way to a dispersed campsite. You don't really get views of the monoliths from back here, but I see a fire ring, and I think this is a little bit further back than other campsites we've seen so far. So, and it's private. I don't know if there's 2 spots here or just one. I think it's just one. Surprised you can't make fires. Clearly people make fires back here. I have wood. I want to follow the rules, but I could see this brush going up in smoke, and that might be why. But anyway, let me shut up. Let's get out. Let's see what we can see. So part of this mission is to scout out cool campsites, and I would say this is my #1 contender so far. You could see, like, when I see that, I think that's a campsite. There's a spot over here that would be nice for a tent. This road keeps going, so there might be more spots, but over there I think is where we're really going to get into Valley of the Gods, but already you've got some really cool formations all around. And we're kind of down below. I wonder, I was going to say, does it protect us from the wind? But there comes the wind. If I see something remarkable, I think I'm just going to pitch my tent here and stake my claim. So that way it's ours. But I've only seen one other van camper. So something tells me maybe that there's better places to be had up the road. But I'm going to mentally make a note of this here. And there's so many cool places to pitch a tent, like over here. You can tell nobody's made a fire in that for a while, but look at that. Look at how these sagebrush or whatever they are, just the color, it just pops so nicely. Wow. And there's Monsieur Slim. Get him here in a nice shot for you. Hey Slim, what's up? I've read many accounts from people that camp back here that sometimes, like often, they don't even see anybody else camp. So it is starting to be about that time where I think travelers are going to be seeking their quarters for the night. So by letting this go, I might be missing an opportunity, but I'm going to walk up over this way, take a peek over this hill, see if there's any other campsites back here. This road keeps curving back here, so it makes me think that there might be. Wonder if we can just get back up to the main road right there. But here's another spot. See a car parked over there too, so maybe there's even more spots. I'm gonna guess there's better, but here's another little campfire ring. I know you're not supposed to do this, but it's so tempting. The night skies out here are supposed to be something spectacular too. All right, at least we have a sense of some options, right? If we wanna camp here. I have no plans for the night. Not worried about if I want to get a hotel room, I could do that. I do have camping reservations though for the next 4 days, and then plans to do more dispersed camping at the end of the week. I think we need to scout more, see what's up the road. All right, we're back on the main road proper. I kicked it in a 4-wheel drive here just because there's some, why not? Man, this is bumpy. I could kind of see why I saw a few people scoff at the idea of bringing a passenger car back here now, but it's still passable, 100%. I would do it. I would just go a lot slower than I am right now, which isn't fast. I could see cars going the other direction now where we're going to be heading out. So I do think that this is going to be the prime place. Here's another cool spot. If you've got a big rig, even a tent camper like me, it's really flat and nice. So it's another one to remark. Better views of Valley of the Gods. And I can't wait to get the drone airborne here and see what we can see. It's one of the things you can't do at Monument Valley, but I so wished we could. But oh yeah, I mean, if this is Valley of the Gods proper, which I am fairly certain it is, I get it now. I get it. It's beautiful. You see right there, I think that's the prime time. We're gonna go around that, I think. So here's where we really gotta keep an eye out for good camp spots. Because if I can camp amongst these giant monoliths with relative privacy, I'm a buyer. Looks like someone got a van lifer or somebody up there, tourist got a spot, which I reckon is a good one. There's like some weird formation behind here, some big needle looking thing. I don't know the names of all these things, by the way, so I did not do enough research to know. All right, is this a spot? Is this a camp spot back here? Maybe. It could be, but it's not really flat, which is one of my prerequisites. I don't want to be camping on a slope. I am such a prima donna when it comes to that, aren't I? But what I can do is park and we can get out. That's what I should do. There's our buddy Slim right in front of a giant monolith. I guess butte, is that the right term for that kind of thing, or is it past being a butte when it gets to be pointy like that? My favorite feature at Monument Valley are the mittens, or features. And I don't know if we're gonna find anything quite like the mittens here. That's so iconic, so American Southwest. But this is right up there with it. Come on. I mean, this is the kind of thing you would see there. And that too. It's almost like a little mitten. The little thumb on the end is a little short. But yeah, I guess you could say that. It's not too much of a stretch. I think the road we're gonna take back winds back around that way and then heads off over that a ways, where there's even more stuff to see. But this over here has been the most beautiful spot on this journey today. My word is all I have to say. Getting the drone up and flying over that, checking out all these monoliths, and we have much more to do. That's just, I think, the first taste. That got my heart going in a good way. Wow, that might be the best drone flight I've done to date. Wow, that was so cool. And seeing the road down below and how it curves, and yeah, this is awesome. I think just because of the remoteness of this, it's hard to say what do I like better between this and Monument Valley. Man, that is tough. Because you take the remoteness of something and it adds a whole different dimension to it. Hoo-dee-doo-dee-doo. What do we got here? Was this another camping spot? Might be. This one's pretty flat, actually. This one might not be bad, actually. There's even a trail that goes back off that a ways. Let me see what that sign says really quick. Because if this is a spot, this isn't bad at all. There's a look at that one butte from the side. It almost looks like a needle when you get around the side of it. It's really thin. And here's the road we just came from. So we were parked maybe about a quarter mile down the road that ways. There's some other interesting formations out that ways too, where I think we're gonna exit later. And look at this. Right behind me here is another spectacular landscape. I almost wanna walk this way. I think I see a site back here where maybe we can camp tonight. I might just do it, folks. This over here might be the calling. And then I can take my time. So let's see what this says. Please don't erase the traces of America's past. So apparently there's archaeological things back here somewhere. So let's take a look. But looking at this trail, I see a campfire over here. And this might be the spot, man. It is kind of a walk-in spot, but a spot nonetheless, I think. I just noticed a rusted out vehicle down there. But if you're a tent camper, I would reckon this is the place, man. Are there other spots back here too? I mean, right here, it's flat. Someone did make a fire back here. I think I'm gonna follow the rules from what I've read. Hopefully I'm not wrong in selling myself short. Got like nice little trees here, maybe to break up the breeze a little bit. I do suspect it can get pretty breezy out here, but I wonder if we're kind of protected back here, and I wonder where this trail goes. All right, I think there's echo potential back here. I heard a good one, but I'm gonna go back here and see what this is, and maybe we can fly the drone and do more recon. It's like a trail. I don't know if there are trails here. I don't know if, one thing I have going for me maybe in that spot is you probably would have to be a tent camper to take advantage of that. So a van or somebody like that's not gonna pull up in that probably. So we will see. I didn't do any research, unfortunately, or didn't have time to research this, but let's take a peek around this corner and see what we see. If I camped out here, I could hike to my heart's content. Usually when you see those signs saying not to disturb traces of the past, there's usually something cool to see. I'm just not seeing it though. This trail just walks out into this wilderness back here. And I just don't know what to do. Do I pitch a tent now or do I keep going? Thought there might be more campsites back here, but we're already past where I'd want to carry all my crap anyway. So let's go back and think. All right, I am on the other side of this really big monolith, the one you pretty much just drive around. So we've come around the pinnacle of the loop. There's a lot of people camping on this side, I've noticed. There's a spot way up there that's pretty cool. There's a van up there, and then there's some folks with a tent pitched out beyond. So a lot of the spots that I saw were on the other side of this, but there was an issue, and I'll let you know in a sec here. My original plan was to find an awesome spot to pitch my tent. I'm not really an overlander. I don't have the ability to pitch a tent in the back of my truck. Kind of wish I did now, because I tried to stake my tent in multiple places up there, and it's rock right under the ground. So let that be a lesson to you if you're a tent camper. If staking your tent in is important to you, which it is to me because it's been really breezy and there's been some gusts, it's not gonna work too well up there. Trust me, I gave it the old college try and was like a prospector up there trying different spots, drove to several different places, and it just was not happening. Maybe I need to readjust my expectations about staking in a tent. Maybe it's something that's not that important, but with the wind the way it is, I'm just gonna keep on heading down. Camping spot or not, you can't beat these views. And you have like mitten-like or hand-like features out here, very reminiscent of Monument Valley, I would say. That's worth a closer look from the air, I would say. We haven't really explored this side. All of our exploration so far has been really on that side. It's interesting too because depending on the angle, some of those things look like chimneys or mittens even over there. All ones that we flew around, and you would know when you see it from a different angle, it looks a lot different. So my best advice is for photos, you really got to explore and try out all the various angles here. And still a couple hours of sunlight left. Just trying to find some good soft ground to stake into. And then I'll be happy, but if I don't, not sure, we might be in a hotel again tonight. We'll have to find out. More to come. So maybe we'll get to see the rest of Valley of the Gods right now. I'll be kind of sad if I don't end up camping here because of that. I almost am wondering, should I just put the tent together and not worry about the stakes, but that just seems like a bad idea, especially in an exposed, windy area like this. Once I get it together though, and I put my cot and all of my other stuff in there, I'm sure I could weigh it down, but it just seems like a less than ideal situation to me. All right, well that section back there was the best so far. I see some more really interesting looking rock formations up ahead. I'm not sure how much longer this goes. I haven't been keeping track of the miles really. Kind of I have. I've at least gone 10 miles, I can tell you that. So I'm gonna guess we got like 5 or 6 miles left out here. Which 5 or 6 miles when I continue to stop over and over can take time. I almost think the overlanding route, which this truck might be a little too small for that, although I've seen people mod these or make it work, but having the ability to just overland and pop a tent in my bed or something would be perfect out here. I wouldn't have to worry about all these other issues that a tent camper has to worry about. And that's probably why I haven't seen a single tent camper back here. A lot of people opt to camp out in these areas, maybe because it's flatter than back there where we were in like the heart of Valley of the Gods. I still haven't seen a single tent camper though. Not this whole time. Everybody's in a little camper or van. And this looks like a spot we can at least take a look-see. I drove up some 2-track off the main road to come up to this overlook here, and this might be one of the premier views of the day, to be honest with you. You really get a good view of the overall Valley of the Gods from up here, and you can start to understand the course we did. I mean, we came from out that way and drove around those spires and buttes and then came back to where I'm at now. So you make a really big circle of it. But yeah, this here, if we were closer it might be even better, but I really like this vantage point up here, and I see a cow down in the middle of that. Just a random cow. And just take a look at that eye candy out this ways. Now some of our view is obscured now of the majesty that lies out beyond by that big butte right there. And there's some of the ones we just drove around on this side. I think I actually see tent campers. Somehow they got way back in there. They must have walked back there. Well folks, I'm pretty sure I'm nearing the highway again. And I think with this view, this is a great place to leave this burned in your mind. Valley of the Gods, this was amazing. It is up there with Monument Valley, it really is. My only slight disappointment was I wasn't really prepared as a tent camper for like the rocky ground. Other than that, yeah, this place is sweet. It really is. I'll see you next time.